Hey everybody, it's Tommy. I'm here at the house and today I'm going to work on my wave runner. I'm going to do some maintenance that is due. I'm going to do an oil change and replace the spark plugs. As you see here, I already got some of the stuff ready. I actually got to go back and get new plugs because the ones they gave me is for the supercharged version of my ski, and I'm sure it'll work, but I think it burns a little hotter and I don't want to use that. I'm going to get the stock ones, the original ones, so I'll go pick those up here in a little bit. But I got 4 quarts of oil, anti-seize, I got some marine lube, got my funnel. I'm going to go ahead and pull the wave runner into the garage and get started. Okay, so I removed the engine cover here and I'm going to remove the coil packs and to get to the spark plugs. Might as well just go ahead and unplug these as well and set them aside. So let me grab the socket for this. I believe it's 10 mil, and I'll get one of these off so I can bring it in and get the right spark plug. I believe it's the L6. I got the L7. Let me go ahead and take these off. I'm hoping that when they put this together, they put anti-seize grease on the plugs. Otherwise, I'm going to probably have a fun time trying to get them off. I just noticed my engine breather needs to be cleaned. Engine breather filter. I'll do that today too. Set this aside. And I believe the plugs are 5/8. Let me go ahead and get that. So luckily it does seem like they put a anti-seize on there, and it is a 5/8 bit. Alright, so these plugs are the LFR 6A, and they sent me the LFR 7As, which is for the supercharger. So I'm going to run up to the local auto parts store and pick up the right plugs. So here's a little trick. I don't have a 5/8 spark plug socket, so this socket here is just enough to grab it but not enough to go down and lock on the plug, so I can't pull it out. So here's a trick. You just take your coil pack and just flip it over the plug and pull it out that way. Okay, so I got all the old plugs out. I put the coil packs back in just to cover up the hole. I'm going to run and get the correct plugs, and while I'm gone I'm also extracting the oil. It should take out just probably a little less than 4 quarts plus whatever's left in the oil filter. So hopefully that'll all be drained out by the time I get back. Alright, after 2 auto parts stores I finally got the plugs. Also got a gapper. I know I have a bunch of these, I can just never find them, but I went and checked all the gaps. They're all set at 34, so, and that's what the stock ones are at. I'm going to go ahead and grease these up with anti-seize lubricant on the threads here and then put them back in. And for extra measure I use some waterproof grease on the boot of the coil pack. JD would be proud. But I'm gonna go ahead and put these back in and be back in a second. So while putting on this second plug, I noticed that these 2 wires are rubbing and they're wearing away, so I'm gonna go ahead and take some black zip ties and strap them together and help prevent any more chafing on these. There we go. So that hopefully will prevent any issues later down the road. Alright, so I got all the spark plugs in, coil packs back on, and the oil's draining. It's almost done. I got just shy of 4 liters, which is right around 4 quarts. So, and that's exactly what I got. So I should have enough oil. If not, I have a spare quart just in case. But I'm going to go ahead and get the rest of this drained out. Then I got to take out the oil filter, which is down there, right here. And I'm going to throw some rags down there so catch any oil that might leak out. Okay, oil filter went on easy. Made sure to lube up the seal on it. And I'm working on my second quart now. I'm gonna put about 3 3/4 of quarts in there. Check it, let it settle. Check it again and add if needed. Oil change is done, plugs are in. Check the oil filter, make sure it was sealed properly and wasn't leaking. Vacuumed out some stagnant water that was sitting down in there. And that's it. I'm gonna put the top back on and then it's done, ready for next week. All right, the last thing to do after an oil change is to go into your settings and make sure you reset your oil. I did it last week when I got home. So I forgot to do it last time I did an oil change, and when I was riding last weekend, it came up with this crazy alert, freaked me out. Come to find out, it's because I forgot to do the reset this last time I did the oil change. It said I was at 50 hours on current oil, which was not true. It was probably about 25. So reset that so you don't freak out like I did out on the water. All right, it's all done. It's all put back together. Oil change is done, spark plugs are done, oil filter. While I was in there, I cleaned up the engine bay. I saw a little bit of surface rust on a couple bolts, so I went ahead and lubed those. And also vacuumed out some standing water. So she's ready for next weekend. But that's it for today. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next week.